The road breathed heat. Late afternoon sun pressed down on the asphalt, drawing out the smell of oil and dust. Cicadas rattled in the scrub along the highway, and a pale blue sedan rolled past a rusted mile marker, its windows cracked just enough to let the wind whisper inside. In the back seat, Myra kept her hands folded in her lap. She was 13, all knees and elbows, hair pulled into a loose braid that had begun to fray. A faint bruise bloomed along her wrist where fingers had held too tight. She stared out at the road with eyes that had learned, too quickly, how to stay quiet. Her breath came slow, measured, the way she'd practiced since the morning everything broke apart. The man in the front seat hummed tunelessly, drumming the steering wheel. The air inside the car smelled of old coffee and something metallic. Myra counted the cracks in the road to keep her fear from spilling out. Then she heard it. A low, rolling thunder. Motorcycles. The sound grew, engines layered over engines until the sedan passed a small clearing where half a dozen bikes had pulled over. Leather jackets caught the sun. Chrome flashed. One of the riders laughed, the sound free and easy, drifting across the heat. Myra's heart kicked hard against her ribs. Her mother had taught her something once, during a lazy afternoon when rain traced paths down the windows. If you ever need help, she said, folding Myra's small fingers into shapes, your hands can speak for you. The sedan slowed for traffic. Myra lifted her hands, just enough to be seen through the rear window. Her fingers trembled, but she forced them steady. Thumb tucked. Fingers raised. Then she opened her palm wide, over and over. Help. The bikers saw it. At first, it barely registered just movement where movement didn't belong. Then one of them stiffened. His name was Rafi, his beard threaded with gray, his jacket patched and worn soft with miles. He raised a hand, palm out. The laughter died. They didn't talk much. They didn't need to. Engines cut. Helmets came off. Eyes tracked the sedan as it crept forward, Myra's small face pale behind the glass. Rafi swung onto his bike. Another rider, Lila, already had her phone in hand, thumb moving fast. The others followed, engines roaring back to life, not wild, not reckless, but steady. Intent. The sedan turned onto a side road. So did the bikes. Myra felt the change before she saw it. The man's humming stopped. His shoulders tightened. The car sped up, tires hissing against loose gravel. The bikes closed in, not blocking, not threatening, just there. A quiet wall of presence. At the next intersection, traffic forced the sedan to slow. Red light. No escape. Rafi pulled alongside the driver's window, visor lifted. His voice carried calm, edged with something unmovable. Everything all right in there? The man stammered. Words tripped over each other. Excuses bloomed and wilted. In the back seat, Myra raised her hands again. Clearer this time. Stronger. The light stayed red. Sirens threaded into the air, growing louder. When the door finally opened, the air rushed in cool and sharp. Myra didn't cry. She just climbed out, legs shaking, and Lila was there, wrapping a jacket around her shoulders, smelling of sun-warmed leather and peppermint gum. You're safe, Lila said, like a promise she intended to keep. Later, as dusk softened the sky, Myra sat on the curb with a bottle of water between her hands. Police lights painted the road in slow blues and reds. The bikers stood nearby, helmets tucked under arms, suddenly unsure where to put themselves. Rafi knelt in front of her. That was brave, he said gently. Myra shook her head. Then, after a beat, she nodded. My mom taught me, she whispered. When her mother arrived, breathless and broken open with relief, the world seemed to exhale. Myra disappeared into familiar arms. Tears finally came, hot and healing. The bikers didn't stay for thanks. Engines started. Helmets went on. As they rode off, the road returned to itself quiet, humming, waiting. But something had shifted. Because sometimes help doesn't arrive with flashing lights. Sometimes it looks like strangers who notice, who believe small hands can tell big truths, who don't think twice when a silent signal asks to be seen. And sometimes, that's enough to bring a child back home. If this story touched your heart and moved you in any way, please like the video, comment, share it with someone who need a little hope today, and make sure you subscribe to Humanity Diaries. Your support help us continue emotional and meaningful stories to the world. Please comment below which part of story touched you the most.